Hey, what's going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here to break down the 9-game NBA main slate on Wednesday. A couple of things before I get in the video. If you're new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos breaking down NBA, NFL, and XFL daily fantasy sports slates. I'm also running a weekly $20 PayPal giveaway on my channel. How it works, all you have to do is leave a like and a comment in the video. That's one entry in the giveaway. Max one comment left per video. So it started with my Monday NBA video that I uploaded at the beginning of the week. We'll go throughout the week. We'll end my Monday NBA video at the end of the week. So however many videos I've uploaded for the week, you can end the giveaway that many times. So if I have 10 videos uploaded for the week, you can end the giveaway 10 times. And again, the winner does receive a $20 PayPal for myself. With that out of the way, let's jump into the video. First, let's look back at my lineup here from Tuesday's main slate. So this is my final lineup with Terry Rozier, Cody Martin, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Cody Zeller, Caleb Martin, DeAndre Ayton, and D'Angelo Russell. So I told you guys I was going heavy on the Charlotte exposure, and it actually worked out pretty well for me. Rozier, he was pretty chalky, right? 60% owned, 35 fans, 35.5 at 6.1K. It was perfectly fine. I played both Martin twins. Cody at 4.1 had 27. Caleb at min price at 19.25. Definitely fine with that. Cody Zeller at 20.25. And then stack that kind of with the Pelicans-Minnesota game. Brandon Ingram, Zion, paired him with D'Angelo Russell, and ran it back with DeAndre Ayton. So the core plays I gave you guys for cash games were Rozier, Cody Zeller, Zion, and Brandon Ingram. So looking pretty solid right now. D'Angelo Russell, the only guy that's doing like a little slow start. If you can pick it up here, could be a pretty solid night for me. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. And that basically does it for look back here for Tuesday's main slate. So let me get to the right slate here. Yeah, the night games haven't even kicked off yet. I'm trying to get this video up earlier. Let's see. All right, Wednesday, 9 games. Boom. All right, so Vegas, there's basically nothing out right now because, again, I'm making this video a little bit earlier than I usually do. We have two games out right now. We have Jazz Knicks at 220 over under. The Jazz are 7.5-point favorites, and we have the Pacers and the Bucks at 222 over under. The Bucks are 11-point favorites. So let's just start with center as always. At the top is Whiteside at 9.6 or 9.5K. I think more of a contrarian option on the slate is definitely still doable because of the good matchup. We do have Damian Lillard coming back. Now, that doesn't really affect Whiteside too much, but at 9.5K, he just seems like he's priced about right. Let's see. Porzingis and Luka, I do have interest in really good. This game should be fun to watch. Two young teams, right? Dallas versus the Pelicans. I'm excited to watch this one. 9K, Porzingis is still in play. Now, he's not like a smash play right with Luka Doncic playing, but we've seen upside games from Porzingis when Luka's been playing. Right now, the 75-point game was when Luka was out, obviously, but 49 and 57, those are two games when Luka was in the lineup. So I think Porzingis is still in play again. He's not like an amazing play, but someone I am considering as more of a contrarian spend up in a really, really good matchup. I assume that one's going to be a pretty high over in the game. Sabonis at 8.7. So this one does have a little bit of blowout risk. Obviously, Milwaukee is, probably the best team right now in the NBA, or one of the best teams. They've been blowing out teams left and right, so there is a little bit of concern here against 11.5-point spread or 11-point spread. Sabonis is under 9K, and Milwaukee's weak spot, I guess, defensively would be the center position. Brook Lopez not very good defensively, so I think he is in play, but again, more of just a contrarian option. No one I'm getting, or no one I'm like, I'm not super excited about him, I should say. Vucevic, Bam Adebayo in the same game. This Orlando-Miami game is just, two teams that played a slow pace, two solid defensive teams. They're both okay, but nothing I'm really over the top about. Now we get to, so we have Drummond, I believe, already got ruled out, and we have Tristan Thompson's status up in the air. So this is pretty big news because Cleveland, last game, they ran a 7-man rotation. They ran Love, Sexton, Nance, Porter Jr., Osman, Dellavedova, and Zizic. That was it. I think Mooney and Wade got in at the last minute, but yeah, basically they had a 7-man rotation. We have Garland, I believe, already out. Yep, will not play. We have Drummond already out, and we have Tristan Thompson's status up in the air. If Tristan Thompson gets ruled out, you have to assume Cleveland is going to run a 7-man rotation again, because that's what they did in the same spot a couple days ago. I know it's not really the best spot against Boston, but a 7-man rotation, I would want a lot of Cleveland exposure. So Got to keep an eye on Tristan Thompson's status. That obviously does change a lot because if he plays, then they would have an 8-man. Well, I don't know. I shouldn't say that because I don't know if Zizic would be in the rotation then. Maybe they would just boot him out and run. I don't know. Either way, Cleveland is going to run a short rotation, so you got to have some interest in some of those Cavs. We'll talk about them more in a bit. Gobert at 8K, I'll pass there. Zion at 8K has been really solid tonight, but it is a back-to-back. So I'm curious, maybe there's a chance they take it easy on him or even rest him. I guess there's an outside chance they could just rest him altogether. We don't know. Has been cleared to play in both games, the back-to-back. So he's going to play. Maybe there's a chance to limit his minutes. That is the only concern right now there with Zion. And the price, 8K seems, he seems priced accordingly. Now, Jonas Valanciunas at 7.8K is a guy I do have interest in. Even at this elevated price point. Now, the game in Atlanta, game log watchers, maybe they're a little bit concerned. Don't be concerned. It was a blowout. He did not see any fourth quarter run. He was on pace to smash there. Memphis is missing 2 of their bigs, Triple J and Brandon Clark are out. We know Brooklyn runs big, too, which is really good. Because I think Jonas Valanciunas' minutes are secure here. As long as the game stays close. Because there are some games, against small ball teams where they won't close the JV. Brooklyn always has either Jarrett Allen or DeAndre Jordan out there. So I think Jonas Valanciunas' minutes are secure at about 30 to 32 minutes, which is, a good feeling. And he's had some big upside here. It's a good matchup. I still like Jonas Valanciunas. I think the ownership will drop because of that price tag. Randall, 7.7, don't think we have to go there. Wood at 7.7K does intrigue me here. We have Derrick Rose already ruled out. Detroit could be really thin at the point guard position. We have Brandon Knight questionable as well. So, yeah, Detroit is, they might have to dust off like Derek Walton Jr. or we'll talk about some really cheap Detroit guys more in a bit, some of those point guards. But Christian Wood is a guy that, he's going to have to do it all offensively now with no Derrick Rose. So, I know the matchup against Steven Adams isn't necessarily the best, but I still have a good amount of interest there in Christian Wood. Adams at 6.7, don't know if I get there. Then let's talk about the Cleveland guys, right? Larry Nance at 6.5K. He played 39 minutes. I know the matchup's not great, but I assume if Tristan Thompson's out, they're going to run a 7-man rotation again. So I would want a lot of exposure. I would probably try to get at least 2 Cavs in every lineup if Tristan Thompson is out and they run a 7-man rotation, right? So, yeah, Larry Nance, I like a good amount. Again, it's just the minutes right now for those Cavs guys. Tice at 5.8, don't think I get there. Mitchell Robinson, this is pretty significant news. If he misses, could open up some value, right? Bobby Portis, Taj Gibson probably would get more run. Now, you're not going to feel really amazing about either, but those are 2 guys that are pretty cheap. The Bulls guys, I'm not going to get to Wendell Carter Jr. there, 5.5K. Miles Turner, a pass. I know he's been playing well, but I think there's better options in the slate. Again, DeAndre Jordan, Jarrett Allen. If you guys have been watching my videos all season, you know my analysis. Taking a shot on one of those guys is always doable for GVPs, but they're just going to go with the hot hand. Let's see. Favor seems priced about right there. I'm not going to get to Rui at that price. I'll pass on Gorgie Jang. Kleber with Porzingis back. No, thank you. Naz Reid does intrigue me here at 5.1. Has had a really solid start to the game tonight, and his price has dropped. We know we do want to target bigs against Chicago, so I do have some interest in Naz Reid. The concern always with him is he is in foul trouble a lot, but I could see him having an upside game there at that price. Markkanen, there's a chance he could come back. I have no interest in the Chicago bigs. The guards are where I have a little bit more interest, right? No Levine, Kobe White is a guy in a good match against Minnesota that I do have interest. We'll talk about that more in a bit, though. Let's see. Other options. James Johnson's fine off the bench at 4.7. I don't think I get to John Henson at that price. Again, Bobby Portis, Taj Gibson. These are guys that could be more in play if Mitchell Robinson misses. Let's see. Thomas Bryant at 3.9. I'm curious to see what he plays tonight because he started the last game, still only played 15 minutes. If he gets like 20, 25 minutes tonight, then I would have a little bit more confidence targeting Thomas Bryant at under 4K. Cantor's also a guy I do have interest in. He's in the rotation tonight. I don't know how many minutes he's played. The game's still going on, but I think he's played about 10, 12 minutes. We know Cleveland runs big, right? Love, Nance, Zizic. If Tristan Thompson plays, he'll be in the rotation. So I do have some interest in Cantor as a punt play. Let's see. Other options. I think that really does it, though, for center. So let's move on to power forward. At the top is Giannis Antetokounmpo at 11.4K. He actually had a bust game in a game they actually got blown out, which is really, really surprising. Basically everyone, though, on what was that, Monday? 3-2? Yeah, Monday. Just all the stars, like no one got you there. I think besides like CJ and Vucevic, there was literally every single star busted. Again, 11-point spread, so there's always some blowout risk. The Pacers matchup is, it's mediocre. It's not great. It's not terrible. So I think Giannis is in play, but I don't know if I'm going to get to him on this one. Now, we do have Jason Tatum ruled out, and we had Gordon Hayward leave the game tonight, and he did not return. So I assume Gordon Hayward is going to be out for this one. Kemba Walker also played tonight, and he was limited. I think there's a chance, since it's a back-to-back, they could rest him. So if all three of those guys are out, if Tatum, Hayward, and Kemba Walker are all out for this game against Cleveland, I love Jaylen Brown. I would love Marcus Smart. And then you could even consider some of those value guys, right? Like Wanamaker, unfortunately, would become more viable. I know he's been a guy that's been chalk a few times and has let a lot of people down. Aaron Gordon's status is up in the air. If he misses, would make some of those other, guys in Atlanta a little bit more viable. Guys like Terrence Ross at the bench, obviously Vucevic would get a boost, but still don't know if I would get to him. Again, Zion, Ingram, Zion at 8K, Ingram 7.9K. It's almost a coin flip for me with those guys. Let's see. Again, Love 7.7K. The Cleveland guy's going to run. If Tristan Thompson's out, they're going to run a 7-man rotation again, most likely. And yeah, Love played 32 minutes the last game, had 40 fantasy points. He would be someone I would look to, but probably would prefer Nance. I think he plays more minutes and is cheaper. Probably prefer a guy like Kevin Porter Jr., who we'll talk about in a bit. Again, Hayward left the game tonight. I assume he's not going to be available to go. If he's out, if Tatum's out, and if Kemba's out, again, load up on those Boston guys. Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart. The OKC guys, you know my breakdown of them by now. They're always fine for cash games. They're always fine for filler, but no one I ever get really excited about. The only really time I target those OKC guys if they're in like a really good matchup or if like one of the guys is injured. Let's see. Again, Hernan Gomez, those wings for Minnesota wings to bigs like Hernan Gomez, James Johnson, Naz Reid are all in play in a decent spot there in Chicago. Otto Porter Jr., his minutes are going to go up. He only played 17. Unless we get clear news he's going to play like 25 to 30, I don't think I can get to him at that price. Other options here, let's see. I'm not going to get to Taurean Prince. Don't think I get to James Ennis there. C.D. Osman is a value guy I'm definitely considering. Played 39 minutes. So yeah, like I said, you're going to want some Cleveland exposure for sure here. I think that basically wraps it up, though, for power forward. Let's move on to small forward. Brad Beal at the top at 10.6K. This game does intrigue me, but it's a little bit more contrarian because of the price tags, right? CJ's price is up, with Lillard back. Don't know if I get there. Brad Beal's at kind of an elevated price point. I don't think a lot of these guys are going to be high owned, but this game could have some upside. I think it's a nice contrarian low owned game stack there. If you wanted to play that, right, like play Lillard, run it back with Beal or something like that. Don't hate that for like more of a contrarian, again, GPP lineup. This Orlando-Miami game, I'm just not super excited about a lot here. Let's see, Middleton, Bledsoe. Don't know if I'm going to get to them. Hardaway, I'll pass with Luka and Porzingis both healthy. Fournier, 6.1K, okay, I guess. If Aaron Gordon misses, you could look to him, but he's never really a guy I like playing for DFS. Ross, again, would get a boost if Aaron Gordon can't go. Did only play 26 minutes the last game, but he still does have, some upside. You could look to him for GPPs. Kevin Porter Jr., I just want a lot of exposure to Cleveland right now. He played 41 minutes at 31 fantasy points. So I think if Tristan Thompson is out, you play at least 2 Cavs in your lineup. That's what I would try to do. Maybe more. You could make the argument for 3. Even 4. 4 might be a little bit much, but yeah, if they're going to run a 7-man rotation, that is amazing for DFS. Bruce Brown's status is up in the air. He's doubtful, actually, so don't think he's going to go. No Derrick Rose. Detroit's a team that's going to be pretty thin at the guard position. Other options here, not super excited about a lot in this range, to be honest. Again, I like CD a lot. Denzel, I'm not going to get to with Otto Porter playing more minutes. I think that wraps it up for small forward. Let's move on to shooting guard. Already talked about Beal. Levine is out, so we'll talk about Kobe White here in a bit. CJ at 8.6 in a really good spot. I don't know if I can pay 8.6K for him when Lillard is most likely returning, so probably not for me. I'd probably rather prefer taking a shot on Lillard if he's not going to be limited. Now, if they're going to limit Damian Lillard's minutes, then maybe you could look to CJ McCollum. Drew Holiday, again, all these Pelicans are definitely fine. This is just going to be a really fun game to watch. I assume it's going to be a pretty high over or under. I'm definitely fine getting getting one of those Pelicans in there, whether it be Lonzo, Drew, Ingram, or Zion, one of those main 4 guys. I'm perfectly fine with that. Donovan Mitchell just seems priced about right. Jaylen Brown, again, this is kind of dependent on those status of the other Boston guys, right? I'm pretty sure Hayward's going to be out. Tatum status up there. Kemba could rest because it's a back-to-back. If all three of those guys are out, again, I would really like Brown, would really like Marcus Smart. I like these Brooklyn guards, too. Dinwiddie and LeVert. We know they've been carrying this offense now with Kyrie out for the season. It's a really good matchup. This game looks pretty appealing, and you could run a nice little stack because no one's really too expensive, right? You could play both LeVert and Dinwiddie if you want to. Run it back like John Morant, JV, or like Dylan Brooks. I don't hate that idea at all. See that LeVert again, him, Dinwiddie. They're both priced about, what? Dinwiddie is 7.8, I think. 7.8, yeah. LeVert 7.2. It's a really good matchup here. So I have some interest in both those guys. I like both those guys a good amount. Smart, again, this is dependent on the status of the other Boston guys. If all those guys are out and it's just Smart and Brown, I would like both those guys a lot. Sexton at 6.6, he played, 39 minutes. He had 50 fantasy points. He's certainly in play. Again, if Cleveland's going to run a 7-man rotation again, you have to have interest in a lot of these Cavs. Kobe White's a guy I do like at 6.2. Now we have Wendell Carter Jr. healthy. We have Otto Porter Jr. Healthy. And we also have possibly Lauri Markkanen coming back. So the issue is they are starting to get more healthy in the front court. And they have higher usage guys now in the offense, which could hurt Kobe White a little bit. But still, that last game shot the ball 20 times. It's a good matchup against Minnesota. I still like Kobe White here off the bench. He's probably going to get 30, 35 minutes. Yeah, I still like his upside there at 6.2K. Malik Beasley is definitely viable. He's had a pretty solid game tonight. My issue with him is he is scoring dependent, but 6K is definitely viable for number 2 in the offense. Let's see, other options here. Again, that Orlando-Miami game, not really excited about that. Dylan Brooks at 5.4K, I have some interest in. Only played 24 minutes due to the blowout. Last couple games, though, 40 and 35 minutes. My concern here is, again, he's a little bit scoring dependent, but really good matchup here. Again, you could run a nice little mini game stack or a full game stack if you wanted to, because everyone is pretty cheap. Other options here, let's see. Like those value Memphis guys like Melton, Kyle Anderson, Tyus Jones, Josh Jackson. If you want to get one of those guys in your lineup, I don't hate that. Probably at least one of those guys will have a solid game. Brandon Knight, this is pretty big news. He is currently listed as questionable. We already have Derrick Rose out. If Knight is available to play, I would like him a good amount. I would assume they start him. If he can't go, then Derek Walton, Langston Galloway, Kyrie Thomas even. Like, those are all guys that someone's going to have to play point guard for Detroit. Other options here. Svi at 3.9, I think it is in play. 30 and 39 minutes is good to see, right? He's not a super high usage guy, but if he's going to get minutes into the 30s, I think he is playable at under 4K. Let's see. Galloway is a candidate, right? If Brandon Knight can't go, there's a decent chance they could start him at point guard or Derek Walton Jr. Yeah, like I said, we got to keep an eye on Brandon Knight's status. If Brandon Knight plays, I would like him. If any starts, I would like him a good amount. Matthew Dellavedova, yeah, I like him too. 29 minutes that last game. Not a super high usage guy, but a 7-man rotation. If they're going to do that again, which it looks like they might, if Tristan Thompson is out, I would assume they would. Yet you have to have interest in Dellavedova. He is also one of my favorite value plays. Wanamaker would be a guy we could look to if all those Boston guys are out. Same thing with Javonte Green there. All right, let's move on to point guard here. Luka at the top at 10.9. Both him and Porzingis are definitely in play in a really, really good matchup. Again, this game's going to be fun to watch. If you wanted to play either Luka and Porzingis and run it back with one of those main Pelicans guys, I think that's a pretty solid idea. Lillard looks like he's going to come back for this one. Is trending towards a return. We'll see if they're going to limit his minutes. If they limit his minutes, I have no interest. If he's going to play full complement of minutes, I think he's an interesting contrarian play who no one will play. But yeah, really good matchup there. D'Angelo Russell at 9.1 I think is still viable. He's had kind of a slow start for me tonight. Hopefully he picks it up. But yeah, like I said, 42, 52, 46, 40 fantasy points the last 4 games. He's the main catalyst in the offense, so no Karl-Anthony Towns. I have some interest there. Other options here, again, the OKC guys, no one really stands out to me. Kemba status, maybe they could rest him. We'll see. We got to keep an eye on the Boston news. Lonzo Ball is definitely in play at 7.5. Again, any of those main 4 Pelicans guys, I like. John Morant, I like a good amount, 7.2. Only played 24 due to the blowout. Before that, though, 41 and 59 fantasy points in 34 and 35 minutes. Again, this is a good matchup. I like this game a good amount. Brogdon, if you're into revenge game narratives at 7K, especially if Oladipo misses 38, 35, and 36 minutes. So he's played more minutes with Oladipo out. He's been filling up the stat sheet. You could definitely look to him and at that price if Oladipo is not available to play. Other options, again, I already talked about liking Kobe White a good amount. Bledsoe's minutes have been down. I can't go there. Mike Conley's always fine for cash games at 5.7. He's probably going to play 30, 33-ish minutes. I think he's a perfectly fine cash game option. I do like Satoransky a decent amount at 5.8. Him, Kobe White are going to play some big minutes at the guard position with no Zach LaVine. Got a really good matchup. So I do have some interest in Sato, and I think he goes very low owned. I think if someone's going to play a Chicago guard, it's going to be Kobe White. And again, I do like Kobe White, but if you want to pivot, you do have Satoransky at a similar price. We got Oladipo status up in there. If he misses, I would like Brogdon a little bit more. Bruce Brown doubtful. Shabazz is revenge spot at 5K. Still, though, his minutes he's not playing more than like 25, 26 minutes. Again, Knight, that is pretty big news. If he can't go, it would open up some more value for Detroit. So yeah, let's just go to Detroit real quick before I get out of here. Derrick Rose out. Bruce Brown doubtful. Brandon Knight questionable. If all those guys are out, I mean, Derek Walton Jr. at 3.3K, there's a decent possibility they could start him at point guard. I don't know if Jordan Bone has been recalled in the G League. That was in 2-7. Yeah, I don't know if he's even on the roster. I know Langston Galloway's there. Kyrie Thomas, I think, would be available. So these are all guys that we could consider if Brandon Knight gets ruled out. So we got to keep an eye on that for sure. Again, Detroit's going to be super, super short-handed. If Brandon Knight plays, I would like him, assuming he would start at point guard. So yeah, I'm interested to see what Detroit does with that starting lineup if Knight plays. If not, it's probably going to be Derek Walton Jr. or Galloway or Kyrie Thomas. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. If you have been enjoying the content, would really appreciate if you could like this video and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell. Hitting the notification bell really helps me out for the videos with the YouTube algorithm. It helps me get more views. So I know all free content for you guys. So if you enjoy this, the videos, the live streams, just hitting that notification bell does really help me out. Again, I will be live streaming for this one 45 minutes before lock, so be sure to check out the live stream, guys. I will go over all the injury news we get throughout the day. I will give you guys a game-by-game breakdown. I'll give you guys my core cash game plays, and then I'll answer any questions you guys have at the end. So, thanks again for everyone to come and check the video. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you guys all tomorrow in the live stream.